There's a type of person who always tries to take care of others. They make other people's needs their priority and often ignore their own. They constantly try to satisfy others but feel too shy to express their own needs. On the surface, they appear gentle, reasonable, always saying, "It's fine, I can handle it." But what you don't know is that their kindness is often a facade. Their understanding is forced out of them. They are the textbook example of a people-pleaser personality in psychology. At their core, they hold a deep-rooted belief. If I am good enough, people won't leave me. Do you recognize yourself in this? Do you always try to consider everyone else's feelings, yet neglect your own? When someone asks you to do something, even if you don't want to, you can't say no. Sometimes, you're so hurt you want to cry, but you still smile and say, "It's okay, I don't mind." You're always careful, reading the room, afraid that others might be upset because of you. Your first reaction is always to understand others, to be tolerant. But you've never really listened to your own inner voice. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're afraid of being disliked. You crave acceptance. Psychology tells us that the people-pleasing personality isn't about kindness, it's about fear. Psychologist Holland points out that the core of this personality is a conditional sense of self-worth. In other words, they believe they are only valuable when they are liked or needed. This is not just about being nice, it's a survival strategy that sacrifices self to feel safe. Their people-pleasing behavior often stems from childhood. They were taught to be well-behaved, to listen, praised as the perfect child. Whenever they expressed negative emotions, they were likely criticized, ignored, or even punished. Over time, they learned a lesson: only if I perform well will I deserve love. So as adults, they are afraid to express anger or ask for anything. They habitually apologize, not because they want to, but because they feel they must. They don't want to say no, but they're too afraid to. Now, let's discuss 3 typical types of people-pleasers. The first type, cognitive people-pleasers. They often have the following traits. They strive for perfectionism. If something isn't done perfectly, they feel extremely guilty. Even when they feel upset, they choose to internalize it instead of sharing it with others. They believe that if others are unhappy, it's because they've done something wrong. They think they must meet everyone's expectations to be worthy of love. They are highly critical of themselves, never allowing themselves to make mistakes or show anger. This is the classic example of a cognitive distortion type people-pleaser, often resulting from growing up in a highly controlled environment, where love was conditional upon never making mistakes. The second type, addictive people-pleasers. They are addicted to recognition and depend on external feedback to feel valuable. Without praise or validation, they experience deep emptiness and anxiety. Psychology calls this emotional reward addiction. It's like the little lab rat in an experiment pressing a lever to get a sugar pellet. Every compliment is like a piece of candy, affirming their worth. But not every attempt to please results in a reward, so they expand their efforts, trying harder to please everyone. They begin to ignore the people closest to them and lose their original sense of self. The third type, avoidant people-pleasers. They are masters at avoiding conflict and fear being disliked. They hide their true feelings, thinking, "I can't let others be upset, or I will be punished." It's not about seeking love, they fear rejection and abandonment. Even in close relationships, they are unable to express dissatisfaction. Even if they're dying inside, they'll just smile and say, "I'm fine." This is the trauma-based people-pleasing behavior. Behind this is emotional violence, shame-based education, or emotional neglect. The greatest tragedy of the people-pleaser personality is that you're always taking care of others, but no one is taking care of you. The more harmless you appear, the more you are ignored. You think that by yielding, you'll gain respect, but instead, you only get treated as if it's expected. Because to others, if you don't say you're tired, they assume you're not. If you don't say no, they think you're always willing. But only you know how each forced smile, every suppressed grievance, is pushing you further into the abyss. So, how can we break free from the people-pleasing personality? Here are 4 practical tips to help you. Stop evaluating yourself with "I should." You don't have to care about everyone else's feelings. You don't need to please everyone. Every time you say, "I should perform well," you're putting chains on yourself. Change "I must" to "I choose," and "I can't refuse" to "I can consider." Practice saying no with kindness. You don't need to be harsh overnight. Start with delayed responses, like, "Let me think about it," or "I'm feeling a bit tired, I might not be able to handle that right now." This isn't coldness, it's about setting boundaries. People who truly love and care for you won't leave just because you say no once. Learn to enjoy your own company. Please yourself. Make a list of things you want to do, just for yourself. Watch a movie alone. Buy yourself a bouquet of flowers. Even if you do nothing, just sit and relax. You'll find that you can heal yourself. Build a belief that you are worthy just as you are. You don't need to perform to deserve love. You're worthy of being treated well simply because you exist. If you've been pleasing the world but neglecting yourself, that's not kindness, it's self-punishment. The people-pleasing personality isn't a flaw. It's a survival mechanism learned in an environment where love wasn't unconditional. But remember, you don't need to be the good person all the time to be loved. You can make mistakes. You can say no. You don't always have to be understanding. You deserve a world where you can exist without having to please anyone. You don't need everyone to like you. You just need to learn to love yourself. You're already good enough. From now on, it's your turn to take care of you.